Welcome to our Starcraft 2 performance overview and review and roundup, and the results were so shocking that Slick peed himself. That is quite literally what happened. See, I can tell because when I put my hand on the stain and smell it, it's most assuredly urine. That's gross, dude. Okay. So anyway, we're using the latest drivers on both the GeForce and Radeon graphics cards, and we're following our new format, which is a very exciting format where we take 4 different price brackets this time, about $100, about $200, about $300, and about $400. So no matter how much you want to spend on a graphics card, we're going to tell you what is the optimal solution, whether it's from the green team or the red team. Now, our StarCraft 2 benchmark is custom. Slick did some magical whatever he did, and he created this playthrough where the guys fight each other, and it's very, very intensive. So it gives you kind of a worst case scenario, not necessarily something that you'd observe when you all have like one hatchery and 2 zerglings over here. Like, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the very worst case. And latest drivers, so Catalyst 13.1 and the NVIDIA drivers 313.96. We use only official drivers, not beta drivers. You used beta drivers, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
okay.
stable.
Well, from now on, we're only going to use beta drivers. Or from now on, we're only going to use official drivers. But this time we used beta drivers, so calm down. Anyway, so our $100 approximately price point has the Radeon 7770 up against the GeForce GTX 650. So in this case, we had an MSI Platinum Edition card and a Sapphire, whatever card this is, Vapor X, I think, something along those lines. Power Edition? Sure, Power Edition. We do overclock all the cards, but we don't take them to the absolute maximum that they can do. We scour the interwebs, and we find sort of what 90% of the people who are using these cards are able to attain, and we run at those settings. Because the way we figure it, we've done guides about this, you should probably be overclocking your card if you own one, because that's the right thing to do. So at this particular price bracket, the Radeon card was $119, the GeForce card was about 5% cheaper, but the 7770 just ran away with it at this price point. You can tell that StarCraft 2 is not necessarily limited by the actual power of the GPU, because you can see that when we step up to a 7870 and a GTX 660, this Radeon number doesn't change, but it seems to be more to do with driver optimizations. So in this case, the red team card was a little bit less expensive than the green team card. So the green team had a 660, I believe this is our 660, yep. 660 twin Frozer, and then it was a 7870 for the red team. Now our 7870 happens to be a dog of an overclocker, so this is probably kind of a worst case scenario. But once again, the red team comes away by about, looks like about 20% in terms of the performance delta. Okay, so our next price band is $300. So we've got the 7950 up against the 660 Ti. The 7950 wins by about 10%, but notice here, guys, and this is at Ultra and Extreme presets, 1080p, no anti-aliasing. Notice here, though, that this is only a 10% difference, and this number is still pretty much the same as the 7770. Finally, we get up into the very upper echelon cards, the 7970 versus the 670, where finally, for whatever reason, AMD's graphics cards are able to push a few more frames out in this game. And the 670 hits that number around 64 FPS, where the Radeon cards were performing up till this time. So it's still about 10-15% slower. So what does this mean? Basically, that StarCraft 2 is purely optimization driven in terms of how the game runs on one card versus another. Also that we are extremely CPU limited on the Radeon side, to the point where you can pay $400 for a graphics card, or you can pay $100 for a graphics card to run this game, and you're going to end up with pretty much the same results. So thank you for checking out this video. Don't forget to check out the video, which I've annotated in this video, showing you the benchmarking procedure that we use for StarCraft 2, so you can replicate it on your own system, find out what's up. The test bench that we use is our 3930K overclocked to 4 gigahertz test bench. We pulled out the RAM because we're using it for something else right now, but the point is it has 16 gigs of RAM, an OCZ Vertex 4 SSD, and that is pretty much all she wrote. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos, and I can't wait to get this button shirt off. This is just horrible. Just like, why am I wearing this?